Why rupture and repair matter in therapy. There's a moment many beginning therapists dread. The moment they get something wrong with a client. They misread an emotion, ask a question that lands badly, forget something the client mentioned last week, or simply misunderstand what someone was trying to say. It feels like a mistake, something to apologize for quickly and move past, hoping the client doesn't notice it mattered. Experienced therapists often see these moments very differently, not as failures to avoid, but as something closer to inevitable, and occasionally even useful. Consider a client who shares something vulnerable, and the therapist responds in a way that misses the point entirely, perhaps moving too quickly toward a solution when the client needed to simply be heard. The client goes quiet. Something in the room shifts. This is what's often called a rupture, a break, however small, in the sense of connection between two people. Many people assume a good therapeutic relationship is one where this never happens, where the therapist always understands correctly, always responds well, never misses the mark. That's not what the research on relationships, therapeutic or otherwise, actually suggests. Ruptures appear to be close to universal. They happen in good relationships and struggling ones alike. What seems to matter far more than whether a rupture occurs is what happens immediately afterward. This is where repair comes in. Repair is the process of naming what happened, however briefly, and reestablishing connection. It might sound as simple as, "I think I missed something there. Can you tell me more about what that was like for you?" It's not a dramatic gesture. It's often quiet and ordinary. Why does this matter so much? Because for many clients, a rupture and its repair is not just a moment in therapy. It's a small, live experiment in something that may have gone wrong repeatedly in their other relationships. Many people arrive in therapy having learned somewhere along the way that conflict or misunderstanding leads to withdrawal, punishment, or the relationship ending altogether. If that's the lesson someone's nervous system has absorbed, then a misunderstanding with a therapist isn't just a misunderstanding. It can quietly confirm an old, painful belief that closeness is unreliable, that being misunderstood means being left. When a therapist notices the rupture, names it without defensiveness, and works to understand what actually happened, something different becomes possible. The client experiences a relationship surviving an imperfect moment, not surviving despite it being acknowledged, but surviving partly because it was acknowledged. This is one reason some therapists describe repair as more important than getting things right in the first place. A therapist who never makes a mistake never gives a client the chance to discover that mistakes don't have to be relationship ending. Perfection, even if it were possible, might actually remove an opportunity. It's worth being clear about what repair isn't. It isn't a performance of taking blame for everything, nor is it about a therapist constantly second-guessing themselves. Over-apologizing can communicate its own kind of message that the therapist is fragile, or that the client's feelings are dangerous to be around. Genuine repair tends to be calm and curious rather than anxious. It treats the rupture as information worth understanding together, not a crisis to manage alone. Sometimes a client won't say directly that something felt off. They might become quieter, more agreeable than usual, or subtly change the subject. Noticing these smaller signals matters because not every client feels safe enough yet to say, "That didn't land the way you think it did." Part of building that safety is the therapist staying alert to the possibility that a rupture has occurred, even when it hasn't been named. There's something worth sitting with here about what therapy is actually offering, beneath the techniques and the structure. It's offering a relationship sturdy enough to survive being imperfect. For some clients, that might be one of the first relationships in their life where that's been true. This doesn't mean therapists should welcome ruptures carelessly or treat client distress as merely an opportunity. The goal isn't more ruptures. It's that when they happen, as they inevitably will in any real relationship, they become moments of repair rather than moments of confirmation that closeness can't be trusted. Perhaps this is part of what makes the therapeutic relationship genuinely therapeutic, beyond whatever is explicitly discussed in a session. It's not a relationship that promises to never disappoint. It's a relationship willing to notice disappointment, name it, and stay. And if a relationship being misunderstood and then properly repaired can change something in how a person expects closeness to work, it raises a related question. What actually happens, more broadly, when someone feels misunderstood, not just in therapy, but in everyday life, and nobody